A frosty night, a silent pavement, a teen crying out, a stranger pulling her by the wrist while onlookers act blind. Yet one person didn't just watch, he intervened. When a lone father trudging home from his shift spotted a young girl being forced into a vehicle, he didn't pause to ponder. He threw the first strike that altered 3 lives forever. What unfolds next will inspire you to stand tall even when the world stays mute. If you believe compassion endures, press like and subscribe to Kindness, Tales Stories, because every view spreads hope's glow. The icy breeze cut through Ethan's threadbare coat as he stepped off the midnight bus. His daughter, Lily, was already dreaming by the time he clocked out at the cafe, and all he could think of was reaching home, checking on her, and warming up the leftover pasta she'd cooked for supper. Raising a child alone wasn't simple. Since his wife passed 2 years back, every moment felt like a trial of endurance, devotion, and grit. But Lily, his 12-year-old, made it all worthwhile. Her giggles were his morning spark, her embraces the only prize he craved. He rounded the bend toward his street, the faintly lit road hushed under drifting snow. Then he heard it, a stifled cry. It wasn't loud, but it was piercing, urgent. His gaze shot to a dim alley between a deserted store and a closed dry cleaner. There he saw her. A girl, no older than 16, was being tugged by a man. Her boots slid on the ice as she fought, struggling to break free. The man, larger, tougher, furious, gripped her wrist tightly and clamped a hand over her lips. Ethan didn't hesitate. He didn't question. He charged. Like a dart, his boots pounded the ground. Release her. The man barely glanced before Ethan's fist smashed into his chin with a grim snap. The assailant staggered, slipped, and crashed onto the frozen path. The girl crumpled, sobbing, scooting backward. "What's your problem?" the man growled, reaching for his jacket. But Ethan gave no quarter. He pounced again, pinning the man's chest with his knee. "Who are you? What were you doing to her?" The man shoved back, muttering nonsense. Ethan's eyes blazed, his breath fogging the chilly air. "You thought no one would act? Not now, pal, not now." Sirens wailed. Someone had dialed 911. Soon blue lights flashed across the street. Officers pulled them apart. The girl shivered, weeping, clutching her knees. The man was cuffed, yelling. Ethan stood between them, hands raised, trembling. She was screaming. He was pulling her. I did what anyone would. The girl glanced at the officer, whispering her tale through tears. He offered me a lift home, but he drove the wrong way. I begged him to stop. He locked the doors. The officer's jaw tightened. They hauled the man away. Ethan stood dazed. It was done. But something new had sparked. Her name was Chloe, 16, a runaway, drifting between shelters, no kin to claim her. "I'm not used to anyone stepping in," she said later, perched on a police station bench. "Folks just pass by." Ethan looked at her, still reeling. No one should ever pass by. Before leaving, she asked, "Why'd you do it?" "I've got a daughter," he answered. "If she were in danger, I'd pray someone would step up." That night, Ethan returned home. Lily was curled on the sofa, half asleep. "You're late, Daddy." He kissed her brow. "Let's say I took a detour to do what's right." He didn't mention the strike or the girl. Not yet, but something in him stirred. The world had grown colder. He needed to be warmer. He didn't foresee what came next, because the next time he saw Chloe, it wasn't on the street. It was in his kitchen. 3 days later, Ethan tried to shake off the turmoil, but something gnawed at him. "Chloe," he asked the officer what became of her. She'd been placed in a temporary foster home, but she wasn't coping. "She's frightened. Trusts no one," the officer said. "But when she speaks of you, her tone shifts. You gave her safety." Ethan grappled with the thought. He already had a daughter, a tight budget, a life barely stitched together. Could he open his door again? He did. He applied to be her temporary guardian. When Chloe first entered his home, she was quiet. She clung to her backpack, startled at sudden sounds, wary of shut doors. Lily, though, welcomed her with cookies, You can take the top bunk, she said. Chloe blinked. Really? Yeah. My dad says we share with those in need. Slowly the frost thawed. Chloe began to smile, laugh, chat about books she loved, helping Lily with schoolwork. Sitting calmly while Ethan made dinner, even pitching in. Once evening, Ethan walked into the kitchen and saw Chloe attempting to flip pancakes. "Ever cooked before?" he asked. She grinned. "Only at shelters, but they always charred." He laughed. "Well, welcome to the crew. I ruin food all the time." She looked at him. "Thanks for not passing me by." He paused. "Thanks for trusting me, but not all approved." Some neighbors raised brows, a lone man taking in a teen girl. He faced scrutiny, but Ethan stood firm. This isn't about their opinions, it's about what's right. The pivotal moment came at the school's parent-student night. Chloe was meant to go alone, but Ethan arrived with Lily. He stood by Chloe as she shared her art project about the meaning of safety. She sketched a snowy road, a girl, a van, and a man who struck first and asked later. The room fell silent. Chloe's voice wavered. "Sometimes those you expect to save you don't, and the ones you least expect become your heroes." Ethan looked down. Tears welled in his eyes. After the event, Chloe hugged him in front of all. She whispered, "You gave me something I never had, a home." Ethan held her close. "You gave me something too. Another reason to keep going, man." Months later, Chloe became family, not just legally, but in spirit. Lily called her sister. Ethan called her daughter. They shared birthdays, holidays, charred pancakes. Chloe even took a part-time job, teaching art at Lily's school. One evening, around the dinner table, Lily asked, "Hey, Chloe, what if Daddy hadn't hit that man?" Chloe paused. Then she said, "I don't know, but my life truly began after that strike." Ethan smiled. It wasn't just the strike. It was the choice to care. Always care. That night, as Ethan washed dishes at the sink, Chloe lingered behind, holding her empty plate. "Dad," she said softly. Ethan froze. He turned slowly. It was the first time she'd called him that. Without pause, without doubt, he looked at her, eyes wide, a bit stunned. Chloe's voice shook. "I never thought I'd say that word and mean it. Someone I feel safe with, someone who stayed, someone who fought the world to pull me out." Ethan wiped his hands and opened his arms. She stepped forward. He hugged her tightly. No words, just warmth. Lily appeared at the doorway holding her stuffed rabbit. Family hug. The three wrapped each other in silence. That hug needed no words. It was proof. Love doesn't need blood. It needs only courage and kindness. If this story stirred your heart even for a moment, please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories. Because sometimes one kind act can save a life, build a family, and show humanity still thrives. You can be that spark,